So Andrew, maybe Molly, I can't remember. Are you a Steven Universe fan?
I'm not caught up, but yes.
Okay. Me neither. I just discovered this, much to my dismay, and also pleasure because, yay, I have things to do after Desert Bus.
Yeah, there's a new one tonight.
I heard. We're waiting for our viewership to just plummet for an hour.
Fusions I haven't seen.
I know. Well, somebody is asking us to tell them why they should watch Steven Universe. Say, I saw the first episode and I'm confused. And let me just premise this by saying we're not going to tell you that you have to like this, because that's not what we do. You might not, but we could share with you why we think that it's fantastic and enjoyable and have been recommending it to our friends.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and it's the first episode. It's not like here's everything you need to know in the pilot. It's here's everything you need to know in the first season. You know, it's one of those like as soon as you get to the end of the first unit, you're like, well, I got to go back and now that I see how they did that.
The show is very much from the point of view of Steven, and very much at the beginning, he doesn't ask a lot of questions or anything yet. So there's, right from the start, it's just, oh, okay, we're in this world and all of these things are happening, and he just sort of lets it go, and each week sort of happens. But as the show goes on and he starts to ask more and more questions, they very much get a chance to build the mythos.
Tally, can you go to Think Geek and look up that Snorlax beanbag? Because Cyclops Boy posted in the chat, it appears it is now licensed and will ship January or February 2017.
I will investigate that for you.
What I love about it is several things. Like, the characters are incredibly endearing. It is a bit of a slow burn. The start is slow. I would highly recommend watching either the Tiger Millionaire episode or Bubble Buddies.
How much is it?
To get a bit more of a sense of it.
$150
really
US.
nice one that you can kind of
Well spent.
Every episode from the very first one is either setting something up, paying something off, or both.
So it's very satisfying in that way. What I've told folks when I'm trying to convince them that it's something that they should check out is it's a children's show. It's simple in the way that a children's show is, but it's engaging for adults as well. And
it's incredibly inclusive.
Yes, it's very... I keep using the word uplifting. It's very uplifting. But not because it just talks about sunshine and rainbows. It talks about a lot of hard stuff. Like there's so much great children's lit out there and young adult lit that does it. In fact, better than a lot of adult lit, which kind of just talks about insipid crap. Let's be real here. It's okay.
They're very good. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's incredibly uplifting. It teaches lessons that are good for kids, but also good reminders for adults, and great for figuring out how you might want to teach the children in your life these things. And it talks about inclusivity and acceptance and friendship and love and the different kinds of those things and how they work differently. And it talks about screwing up and asking for forgiveness and doing better next time and growing up and changing and so many different things. And it's just really uplifting and really wonderfully tastefully done, and it's also just fun.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It has fantastic music.
There's a very good... It's the best way I've ever seen a children's show deal with like lessons about consent and about sort of, taking advantage of people in relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a really great quote from the creator of... he worked for WB for a very long time. His name's completely slipping my mind, but he was one of the creative people behind Freakazoid and like some of those shows. He had a really good quote a long time ago that was like, a good cartoon show isn't one that's like one designed for like a very young audience and one designed for a slightly older audience. It's one that like you and your siblings can watch together, and like the younger sibling can ask the older sibling a question, they can have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
And I think Steven Universe is one of the first shows that I've seen in a very long time that like hit that again. And Adventure Time as well. I still actually haven't watched as much Adventure Time, but I've heard it's like similar. Like Steven Universe has a lot of the same writers as Adventure Time, so
it's good stuff, and you should check it out.
It came from
the creator Rebecca Sugar initially started out on Adventure Time, and I believe Bravest Warriors as well.
You may not love it like we do, but we highly recommend giving it a shot.
Yeah, it has more heart than arguably anything else I'm watching.
Did Rebecca Sugar spur the Fiona and Cake? Was that her?
It might have been actually.
I think
like there's really strong queer representation. It covers dealing with single parents, dealing with unconventional family relationships.
There are NB characters.
Non-binary gender identities, like all kinds of stuff in a way that is thoughtful and caring and understanding and is explainable to someone who is younger, if that's how.
And also, well, I wouldn't exactly say it's subtle. It doesn't like beat you across the face with it or something either. It's it's great.
It's also short. Like
a lot of people
each episode is
getting
into stuff because it's a long.
Each episode is 15 minutes.
But it's short, so it's like you can do like 4 or 5 episodes and see if you really kind of like it.
Yeah, because a lot of people when they're like, oh, how many episodes are there? I'm like, well, there's like 50 in the first season. They're like, that's so many, and I'm like, well, they're short. They're not like it's not like 50 episodes of Breaking Bad.
It's not hard to do. All right, so I'm gonna call it there because we could probably do this all day long.
Oh my God,
we are the Steven Universe fan club. That was our non-sponsored endorsement for Steven Universe.